Welcome to Molly of Denali's virtual family community learning workshop session number 3. I'm Cindy Putnam.
And I'm Chelsea Gifford.
And I'm Riley.
And we're so excited that you joined us because we're going to be exploring our community. And we live in a beautiful community. Riley, where are some places that you like to go that in our community that people can go for free?
I like to go to school.
You like to go to school?
I like to go to museums and stuff.
To museums? Do you like to go to the depot and see all the trains?
Yeah, I like to go to that place. It's very fun.
And have you ever been to Dogwood Park where the fountain is?
Yes, it's very fun over there.
It is a great place. So those are local places in our community, and that's what we're going to be exploring today. But another kind of informational text is being able to read a map. Now, Miss Chelsea, what makes a map an informational text?
Well, because it has information about where places are. So it gives you not only directions, but it has labels and symbols that show where things are in your community, in the world. So they give you information on how to get somewhere.
And we know that Molly has a strong background in Alaskan Native values. And so one of the values that she has is living carefully and living with other people and being kind. And when we go to those free places in our community like Dogwood Park or the depot or our museums, we have to be very respectful and keep our hands to ourselves and make sure that we're not touching things that aren't supposed to be touched, but then things that we can touch, we can play on and climb on. So that's really, really fun. Today, our video is called Tooey's Adventure and Tooey's Hero. So you are going to learn about where you can find whales in Alaska, and there's a great map of Alaska. And parents, I recommend that you find a map of Alaska online or in a book and show it to your child. But there are wonderful areas. There's the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge and Denali National Park and Preserve. So there are really great free places that you can go in Alaska, just like there are free places you can go across the Upper Cumberland. But in our planner today, we're going to be exploring our community. And Miss Chelsea, what is a map?
Well, the definition in Molly's book is a drawing of a location that shows physical features such as lakes or mountains and places such as bridges or buildings.
So we have some maps. We have a map that we printed off from online of Cane Creek Park. And then we also have another map of Cane Creek Park. Now, both of these are about Cane Creek Park. But you can see, Raleigh, are those maps really different?
Yes.
Yes. Is one map more detailed than the other?
Yes.
And both maps have legends. You've got a trail legend here and a legend there at the bottom, and that's all the information about your map. But Raleigh, today I would like to encourage you to draw your very own map. Could you draw a map of your school?
Yes.
And what school do you attend?
Parkview.
Parkview Elementary School. So while we're working today, Riley is going to be drawing his own map, and parents and caregivers of little learners helping a child draw a map just of their home, of your neighborhood, of the route that takes them to school, or of one of our parks, Dogwood Park, Cane Creek Park, one of the places that you can go with your family. It's a great way. And remember, put your legend on the bottom so you'll know where everything is. So, Miss Chelsea, what are we going to be researching today?
Today we're going to research where do you like to go in your community. So it's important to sit down, talk about those places, like Riley named the museums and the parks, and he loves his school, all the places in your community that you like to take trips to.
Yeah, and we know that some places, like the Screen Reflects, are real and some are imaginary. So you could draw a map of a place that you made up in your mind that's completely imaginary, like Birdwell Island, where Clifford lives, or Never Never Land, where Peter Pan lives. And then there are real maps, like the city of Denali in Alaska, or there's a real map like we have here of Cane Creek Park. And even though these two maps look different, they're both maps that represent what Cane Creek Park looks like if you were there and walking around and seeing it. So, on our community research page that Miss Chelsea said, I really encourage you to get out and take some paper with you and draw the map when you're actually there.
And talk about what's important. about those places, what makes them enjoyable to go to, and it gives you space here to sort of brainstorm those ideas together.
And Molly actually drew a map. Molly's artifact today is a map of her community. It's the map of where she lives. And she drew her trading post, a tribal hall, a cafe, and her favorite place, which, Miss Chelsea, you'll be happy to know, is the library.
Yay, that makes me happy.
And in your Molly of Denali Museum Planner, there is a grid that you can use to draw your favorite place in your community. But Miss Chelsea, are there books at the library?
Are there books? Of course there's books.
And are there books about maps?
Yes, and there's a lot of great map books. Of course there's maps all over the world, so you can get a big book like this that shows destinations far away and what animals live there and all kinds of information about that. This is just a sample of what it looks like on the inside. And then there's things that go more detailed into what makes a map, what's classified as a map. We talked about legends and the symbols that might be on a map, so you might want to learn how to use a map, and so you want a book kind of like this.
And parents, if you have any old maps around your house, or you go, like Miss Chelsea said, to a park and there is a map that's there that shows you, you might want to take a picture of it with your mobile device so you'll have that to talk to your children about it when you get back home. But Raleigh, how are you doing on your school?
I'm doing very good.
You're doing very good. Well, I can tell. So Molly did the same thing. And one of the things that we know is when we draw a map, we really get to explore our community. Molly's exploring her native community. Molly's exploring different areas of the United States where Native Americans lived. Even though it's not in Alaska, she's using maps to learn. So you can do a virtual exploring of maps in your community. You could do maps of states if you've traveled, or this summer if we're not traveling and you've got a map of a state that you want to use. You could also do a map. Sometimes there are maps that are on postcards that you could collect. But like Miss Chelsea said, places you like to go. So Miss Chelsea, where's a free place that you like to go in your community?
I love to go right next door here to the library, to the History Museum, because they have different exhibits all throughout the year where they share information about our local community, which I think is really cool.
And I love to go to Dogwood Park because that's a place where you see families practicing social distancing, but being together and enjoying the water there and enjoying all the beautiful things that our community has to offer. And we're sharing those places, so remember, we're using our values, we're picking up after ourselves, we're not leaving a mess, we're not pulling leaves off the trees, or we're not using any kind of crayons or markers to write or draw on anything. We're taking really good care of our community. And Raleigh, our game today is Sled Dog Dash, and that's a really great game that I know that you're going to love to play on your mobile device. And parents, the activity today is making a dog sled adventure play set. So that's how Molly and her family travels. And what are some of the ways that we travel in our community? How do people travel here?
Cars.
Cars.
Trains.
Trains.
Buses.
Buses.
Very good.
How about a bicycle?
That's like one more people that want to get a workout do. But it's a very good way to help build up strength.
It is. So I've seen people on roller skates, on skateboards, on bicycles. And you know one really great free way of transportation that people can use? Walking. Walking. Okay, so let's look at your map that you've been working so diligently on. And I know it's not completely finished, but can you tell Miss Cindy and Miss Chelsea a little bit about your map? And I'm going to hold it up. So can you tell us about it?
So this would be the gym fire exit.
The gym fire exit. That's an important thing to know.
Or where you get on the bus to go to a field trip on.
Buses for field trips.
Here's the tornado slide on the playground.
The tornado slide.
Here's the big slide that you climb up from the side on chains. Then you slide down then you slide down on the other end. I just got confused which end it was.
That's all right. So this is Riley's elementary school. This is Parkview Elementary. And Riley has drawn a map, not only of his school, the building that he's going to be filling in later on, but also of the playground area. So he's really looking at that. I'm so happy that you joined us today, and I'm so happy that you're going to get out and explore our community with maps. And Miss Chelsea, those books again at the library, Miss Chelsea's going to have those for you to check out. And Riley, are you gonna start looking at maps when you go to other places a little more carefully now?
Yeah.
All right, thank you for joining us for session 3, and we'll be back for session 4. Don't miss it.
Bye.
Bye.